As I have already discussed a few points with you, right? So this is regarding how to go about while submitting the assignment and kind of pitfalls that you should avoid and whom to follow, whom not to follow. This is also important regarding your seniors. And also you follow Nikita's assignment. You talk to Nikita and go through her assignment. So you'll get a fair idea about how she has done the interactivity assignment. Okay. Now, when we talk about some extra aspect of interactivity, here you see that in second unit we are supposed to discuss about online news, right? Online news, then also about electronic journalism, digital journalism, right? Citizen journalism. These are some concepts we will deal with. Okay. But when you say journalism, already you have learned fair idea about journalism, reporting, analyzing, reporting, gathering, collecting, analyzing information and disseminating of information, right? But when you talk about, you see the online journalism, basically giving a new definition to journalism, because you see online itself is a like medium, no? So it is also a medium induced journalism. Online is basically the electronic medium induced journalism. So where the caricature of journalism is not changed, has not been changed. So only one medium is there through which you can deliver your content. So that's how you could at best relate journalism with new media platform, or you can say that we also have digital journalism that use of digital tools in terms of reporting, editing, and disseminating information. Okay, so here one most important aspect of journalism is the computer assisted reporting, and that is equivalent to data journalism. Okay, so data journalism is very broad now, but if you look into the origin of data journalism, this is also evolutionary part of digital journalism, because you see digital journalism has also evolved over time. Hmm. And now we are at this stage of data journalism. But if you look into the origin of data journalism, we had that computer assisted reporting. Okay, so computer assisted reporting is known as CAR, CAR. Okay, so we have basically two types of computer assisted reporting. One is when computer is used for reporting. That's a simple aspect of understanding computer assisted reporting, and second aspect is data journalism. So here earlier computer is used for reporting in 1967. That was the first time, that was the year when computer was first used for journalism. There was a Detroit riots in US, and one university professor from North Carolina University, one professor used computer to analyze the riot, analyze the participation of college going students and also school dropout in the riots. And he came up with a hypothesis that only he negates the hypothesis which was established that only the college going student took part in that riot, but he also found out that school dropout also equally took part in that riot. And he analyzed huge data sets. First, he carried out survey across the campus and find out who took part in the riots, who did not take part, and also made a data set. Then he analyzed the data sets and he come up with the results, and that's how he actually gave birth to a new trend. So that new trend came out, that is called a computer assisted reporting, and for which he also won Pulitzer Prize award. Okay. Now you see that it is basically computer assisted reporting. From this very example, what we can understand is that computer assisted reporting is basically the process of bringing social science into the journalism, the practice of social sciences into journalism, right? That is what is computer assisted reporting. So this is an effort, this is also an attitude, this is also, you see, a way or process trying to get the base of social sciences method into journalism. Otherwise, you see, journalism happens to be a very different practice, right? It's a very different practice, and it has its own merits, demerits. And theoretically, we have some framework to understand journalism, but most of the theoretical framework are also given by, you see, social scientist rather than communicator. So journalism, the discipline is interdisciplinary. It's multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary. It itself is a multidisciplinary. Though we cannot say that it's a very standalone concept, the journalism, because it's actually a method also to look into the truth. So when we say journalism, it's a method to look into the truth, method to look into the the, the, the veracity of any aspect or veracity of any phenomenon. So journalism itself is a method in that case, right? Method, which you can also see that in social sciences, it is also a method to go into finding the truth, right? So, as in the very first class, if you remember, I have discussed about the way uh, the objective elements, that is, the values of journalism, evolve, right? So, when we talk about objectivity, this is basically a very important value of journalism. And when we try to understand the digital journalism, we also need to understand how it is different from mainstream, we call so-called traditional journalism, and journalism which is also induced by this radio, television, old media. So we try to find out those parameters which will make digital journalism different from traditional journalism. Then we see that there is another concept that is called citizen journalism. But you see, citizen journalism, that many people claim that all citizen journalists are digital journalists, because citizen journalism, the term has come out. The origin of the term citizen journalism happened after the advent of World Wide Web. So prior to the advent of World Wide Web, we did not have that concept called citizen journalism. But the concept citizen journalism is different a bit because it involves the equation of citizen with the government. Means that their goal, their purpose is quite different than what digital journalism is basically do. So digital journalist is digitally induced journalism. So use of digital means. So you can actually see that there are different examples. Use of thin media. Thin media is a personal broadcasting site. You have your own podcast, right? That is a use of thin media. That is another kind of digital journalism plus another kind of citizen journalism. Okay, and also we see that we have participatory kind of news outlet and peer-to-peer news outlet. So this peer-to-peer news outlet, that peer-to-peer that communication, slashdot.com is there. So you get to find. So there is actually a you see open gate watching process. So you see that there are different varieties of digital journalism which could come into the citizen journalism at the same time, to make it much more complicated at the same time. So and you also see that it is mainly defined by the platform and technology that you are using. Okay, now you see, to understand the difference between the mainstream journalism and digital journalism, we can take out those parameters. One is the values, right? Value is a very important parameter, that is called objectivity. Objectivity, it is actually the byproduct of the origin of photograph. We actually see that objectivity comes through three, four stages, right? We can evaluate objectivity, the element of objective truth in news in three, four stages. So in the very first stages, we can actually see the invention of photography, which help us to understand the objectivity. So objectively, we looking into an event because photographic capture will give an objective understanding of any event, of a location, of a picture, of an exhibition. So that objective understanding of an event came with the photograph. So second phase where we get to see the objectivity element is tied to the I have told you about this I think commercial outlet. Okay, it's a byproduct of liberalism. So we also see that it is a byproduct of liberalism because you see that once journalism was a means to inform citizens. And here also, when James Hickey, Augusta Hickey, first started journalism, journalism was not objective at all. So journalism was of a different nature. It got a kind of scandal overtone. It got a very different kind of overtone, different sides of subjectivity. But over the years, we get to see that even Britishers also prefer that liberal version of journalism. Liberal version also inherent the value of objectivity. When you say liberal version and but journalism is a byproduct of liberalism, is that they will have a liberal account of this truth. They will not go to the extreme to cover the opinion of one segment of the populations or who is being affected. They will actually try to draw some parameters, and they will never go aside or beyond that parameters. So when we talk about this liberalism, it is also you might have that free press theory is there, free press theory. So where we actually move beyond government, the alienation, right? We are not affiliated to government. So liberalism has also a connection to that corporatism. So journalism has got that corporatist outlook where they always talk about the five W's and less about that one H, how it has happened. But basically, they limited themselves to those five W's. Very important aspect of any event is highlighted at the top, then they have simply reduced. They have put the less important information in the bottom section. Now you see that that is a hard news syntax that is followed in liberalism. Even in liberal version of journalism, we also get to see there is a less scope for criticism of any kind of you see brand or capitalist out because it will go against their interest. So hence, whatever reporting will be done, so it will be done with a pure, like, not pure objectivity, with an objectivity that checking, like, or covering both sides of the story, or that is what is cross-checking, or covering both sides of the story is the one version of liberalism, actually. And then we also have a positivist account, that is, I have already told you, that is a research account of objectivity, positivist account. This positivist account can be connected to the computer assisted reporting. Positivist account of journalism, positivist way to find out the truth. Positivist way to find out the truth in the sense that it is a research method, positivism. Positivism is a research method. So empirically you will find out the truth. Not to qualitatively you will analyze and explaining the truth, but you will empirically you go to the field, you will find the sources, and you will get the information from various sources. So you will compare the data sets, you will calculate the results, and then you can establish a truth. Okay, so there is a calculations because truth is not only on the basis of one account. Definitely, it will be on the basis of the eyewitness account. So here there is no way we are going away from eyewitness account. Also, you see that somehow it contradicts with digital journalism also, because now digital journalism has a pack mentality. They will never go for primary accounts, and they will always go for secondary accounts, like secondary sources, right? So we don't have to get to see the that eyewitness account in digital journalism because of the pack mentality. The pack everything, like they pack everything, whichever is already available, and that is being replaced by a newer version of the story. So you actually see that positivist account is a social science. It derives from the social sciences, social science account. So they try to establish truth on the basis of applying some methodologies of the social sciences and analyzing the data which is being collected through sociological methodology and arriving at a result. Okay, and computer assisted reporting is pretty much close to the positivist account of objectivity. So they said that truth is objective because it doesn't give you only one eyewitness account or version of truth of someone who actually who may represent a larger community. We usually say, suppose if you are talking an interview of a doctor on any issue, on suppose OCD issues, he will represent, the doctor will represent the whole doctor's community, and scientific, he will give us some scientific verifications and documents about OCD. So that is also you see that objective account of the doctor, and even the first eyewitness account. Huh. He is representative of the whole doctor's community. But whenever there is any critical situation happening in the society, even in terms of OCD also, if you are actually studying OCD, there are different varieties of case, and there are also different way to deal with OCD. Suppose, right? Obsessive compulsive disorder. A few people usually have that habit of washing hands frequently. Uh, then few people have that tendency to, you see, that wiping out the floor just because they want to keep everything perfect. There is also a film movie made on OCD. That is I have seen Oblet. I forgot the name. That's in Hotstar. I have seen that is actually made on the OCD. He's a it is very particular about cleaning and all. So it's not about being particular, but that becomes her psychological issue. Uh, so you see, there are also different cases regarding OCDs. So it cannot represent only one account, but we take it that that particular bite of the doctor will give us an objective account. But here in you see computer assisted reporting, we usually come across multiple cases. We try to analyze multiple cases. And we also interview different doctors on different cases. Then we draw, like, some interpretation, and not about interviewing, but it is basically carrying out a survey among the OCD patients. So that is much more relevant, carrying out a survey among the patient, and then you derive a conclusion that, okay, their behavior are different, and each behavior has a role with his past instances, or some of the you see past reflections, or his or her environment where they are being brought up. So you can come up with this kind of you see conclusions on the basis of the research, not on the basis of your own opinion or even personal experience, but on the basis of not even a popular wisdom, like a doctor's wisdom is a popular wisdom, but on the basis of an evaluation. Okay, so you see, like that way, computer assisted reporting has been very particular about using computer, and it used statistical packages of that is what we call SPS, social sciences, statistical packages of social science. So that's a website software, and also SAS, that is another software. These softwares were used basically. SPS softwares are available. You can also see in social sciences it is used. So when you actually carry out a survey, and then you survey suppose 500, 600 people or more than 1000 people, where your respondents, you carried out a survey, so it's very difficult even to calculate it. So simply use that particular software SPSS. Now the AI tool is available. Now that's why we see that computer assisted reporting and database journalism has getting much more importance and prominence in this field. Okay, because we have AI tool, how it is used in journalism. It's not about simply writing with the help of AI, but how also AI is helping doing research in that culling out the results from the databases. It's very important now. It is used, and at once it can give you the result. So it has actually blurred that distinction between the journalism and social science, and journalism becomes a method of social science nowadays, and that distinction in different disciplines has been happened. Those distinctions are blurred now. So we do not have a separate standalone discipline. Like, okay, we are from cultural studies, we are from social studies. So journalism usually bring based from every aspect, right? From even rights, from laws, from cultural studies, from sociology, uh, and try to show the society the realities, try to present the realities in front of the society, right? And digital journalism is also doing the same with the help of AI now. Hmm. So when we talk about these are the one is Philip Mayer, that is one example. Another example I'll give is Elliot Jaspin. Elliot Jaspin was the editor of Provincial Journal. Provincial Journal way back in 1980s. He also carried out a survey based on use of computers. So that survey got award. Means after that survey he got award. So it was a survey on school bus driver, the background of school bus driver, when there was an incident that three, four children were killed when school buses ran over them. So he tried to find out he actually investigated, as a journalist, he investigated the background of the school driver and tried to match it with the court record. And he found that most of the drivers were drug dealers. So after that record, so it's a kind of investigative journalism, also you could say, with the help of computer-assisted reporting. So in a way, digital tools help to investigate an event, an issue, or a problem, and get the and best give us the result. Okay, so like that way we have some of the advantages of this computer assisted reporting. Advantages is that it will make journalism much more accountable, right? Journalism will become much more accountable with the help of computer assisted reporting. Supposed to be accountable, now we get to see a contradictory picture. Hmm? Hmm. Journalism is supposed to be accountable, and even the computer assisted reporting and digital journalism also claim that journalism is supposed to be more accountable with the help of digital tool, with the use of digital tool. Huh? And then we see that there is a first retrieval of information. That is another second advantage. First retrieval of information, which is possible. Huh? In use of you see like in journalism basically. So that is one thing, and then you can see the stories of information. Information stories is possible here in digital journalism, so you can have archive for years after years, for decades you can have archive, you can store the information. That is also very important advantage. So that's there are certain advantages and merit. These are the advantages and the merits. First, information retrieval. First, communication. First, dissemination of information. That is also immediacy is there. So like that way, you can actually see the whole news gathering and news presenting has been revamped. So gathering is different and presenting is different. No? So when computer is used, and also in the tools, digital tools are used in gathering the informations, and the same digital tools are used in presenting the information. And there is also convergent journalism, that concept come much later when everything is being merged, convergent. that convergence is much more related to culture than actually journalism, much more related to the culture of the journalism. The way it has changed, the way newsroom has been changed. Okay, so we could actually see that computer assisted reporting has focused on 4R. That is, one is reporting, second is research, third one is to see references, and fourth one is Randy's first spot. Okay, when you talk about the reporting here, reporting is all about culling out information or pulling the information from encyclopedia, from even from sources, from directories, and also search engine. So how you cull out this information from the information sources, and then you make a repository of that information. Okay, so you call out informations and you make a repository of the information with the help of digital tool. Is all about reporting here. That's what reporting does mean in computer assisted reporting. Then we also have, you see, reference research. Research is the investigation. Okay, so you see in digital journalism, finding the right information is very important. So right from the very first class, I have been telling you about the importance of information literacy. How to get the right information is very important. How to evaluate the URL is very important. Here, how to set the keyword is very important. How to give a tag is very important. How to write a headline is very important. Okay, so there are certain specific aspects which are very essential for online journalism in terms of structuring, in terms of paragraphing. It's very important. The way you use the word. Suppose you are not supposed to use the word based, but it is also advisable not to use the word based, latest. These are superlative word and relative word. So don't use it. Don't use the word very. Rather, you can use the word damn in journalism, but don't use the word very frequently. It is also said because try to make the writing much more colloquial and conversational. It's very important. For online journalism, it's too important to make the writing informal, colloquial, and conversational. But in news and print, news for print, so we do have a formal writing structure, but now it has converted to that colloquial style. And after that, like in Times of India, that's we are following this Times of India news style. No, they do have a different kind of writing style. So they belong to a different house. So writing style also belongs to a different house. So Hindu has a different style. So that Hindu writing style is different. Times of India's writing style is different, right? So you get to see that the way things are being presented is very different. So that is also the value aspect of the journalism. So we have been discussing about the parameters. So one is the value, objectivity, right, and the way you actually write. Okay, value aspect is very important. The way that value, style of reporting is also like the also inherent in the value is one part of the value. Style of reporting, because that will determine the subjectivity and objectivity of presentation. Okay, the style of reporting. Apart from that, the you see, when you talk about objective reporting, as I have already told you, don't use that word based, don't use the word latest, use the word that like very. So just to avoid the subjectivity, just to avoid the subjectivity, when you use that word based, so you are being relative. Huh. Use the word very important, very. So you can simply use it important or it's essential. So, and don't use jargonic word, you usually know. Na? So that is also part of objectivity norms. Now, apart from it, there is another style in online journalism that you need to follow. And in terms of even digital journalism, in terms of, you see, that I'll see that computer assisted reporting also. Reporting is different here, data journalism is different. So, but I'm giving you a brief of everything. Okay, then we perhaps go that very specific. So you see that what is important is to use keyword and learn how to go for search engine optimization. use some keyword is very important. So you write a paragraph and you design some keyword to define that paragraph. So each time you write for online, one paragraph you write and then you logically move to a different paragraph, right? So how you write? We first write a paragraph, we see the information we have provided, the same information is logically progressed to the next paragraph, right? And that's how we can establish that linearity of the uh, facts and information that we are presenting, right? So while following that logical curve and progressing curve, so each paragraph has certain idea. You also know that each paragraph will have an idea, right? And you are supposed to define that idea by some keyword. Okay, so designing keyword is very important in online. Even while you are writing for a blog, so you are supposed to have a very subjective account of any event, right? And you also see, we usually tend to see blog and journalism are different. But you see, blogger also follow a code of ethics. But in social media is also into this reporting nowadays. Okay, so there are different tools in online social media, Twitter, Facebook. Huh? Facebook, Twitter, these are social media, YouTube, then you see the blog, wiki, these are different tools which you used for journalism, for even presenting the content, right? For gathering, we have a computer. We have different sources. Basically, computer, some other softwares are also used to gathering and analyzing this information. And then we present the information via these very digital tools like social media, social networking site, via blog, via wiki. But each platform has its own you say own features and distinct identity. Now, see, social networking is completely different. Facebook and Twitter itself are different. So, Twitter, while reporting in Twitter, you have to go for few words and have to very formal, structured content, very formal. But when you go for make a reporting or presenting, not reporting, you're presenting. Sorry, it's presenting about any information online and via Facebook tool. You can go personal, informal, and colloquial. So, style of both these social media is different. So, okay, and then you see the blog. Blog is completely different from the way we actually report for wiki also, because blog used to have a lot of subjectivity. Blog content have lot of subjectivity, right? And there are some journalists who write politics don't feel like to write blog on politics because they feel that this will be a replication of whatever is being already reported in the mainstream journalism. So they write a personal blog, but they write politics at the same time. So that is also a trend which is involved. And many a time now, when there is a liberal version of journalism we have, so journalists usually report. Report and feature some stories and without having any biases, so without having their opinion integrated into it, but while writing blog they may go political. So you can also see that vice versa, because in liberalism you do not have the chance to be that subjective. So while writing the blog you can be a bit subjective and you can be political in that case. Or you can go to an extreme subjectivity, so having some opinion, or that cocooning aspect is also there. Echo chamber effect is also there. So that is important. Now you see that apart from this, what is okay? That referencing is important in reporting referencing. Then you see one is the research references and Rendezvous spot. Rendezvous spot is very important aspect of computer assisted reporting. Rendezvous spot. It is through which journalist, basically the digital journalist, um, get assembled online. they get to abreast about each other idea. They get to be aware about each other's ideas. Okay, in that spot. So which will also increase the social capital, social networking, and cultural capital in the sense that it will also, in a way, enrich the journalistic profession when you see the cultural capital has been enhanced. Huh. When they talk to each other, when they share their opinions, that is also beyond their confinement of the outlet and the media houses. So they have got the platform to interact with each other. So they will interact beyond that confinement of, like, of that proprietor's pressure, user ownership pressures, editorial pressures, and also as production related pressures. They actually come out and they have got a platform that is a Rendezvous spot and community where they can freely exchange their opinion on any issues which they have already written liberally, or you say objectively. Okay, so these were the 4 points: reporting, reference. Reference is reference to any kind of sources. That provision is already there in online through hyperlinking and hypertext, right? Referencing, and then we also talk about the research. Research is very important aspect of that computer assisted reporting. Even research is a very important aspect of journalism, right? But the thing is that although research is important, so many journalists do not do their homework and do not do their research. They simply go to field and they take some bites and then they present the information because that happens to be the trend. Okay, because they need to cover two, three stories. There are also constraint. There's time constraint. So they are working in constraint, different kind of constraints. So they need to go to field and they need to cover two, three times, they have to visit different areas, different field areas, different locations. So whatever is comfortable or whatever is easier for them, they tend to do it. So research is not yet conducted much. But in computer assisted reporting, we can actually see the importance of research. And then we have that references and rendezvous spot. These are the four aspects. Okay, reporting, research, reference, and rendezvous spot are four aspects of computer assisted reporting. Okay, and then we see that there are also very important aspect of digital journalism when we talk about the information itself, how information is being presented. Okay, how information is presented and who has decided how information is to be presented, who has decided the topic. Here it is very important to understand different kinds of you see that digital journalism. So one is, you see, the personal broadcasting. Yeah, I'm just finishing. So one is, you see, this personal broadcasting. Yeah, you can, personal broadcasting account are there. Like blog is a personal broadcasting account. Okay, so wiki journalism is a collaborative and participatory account. Why it is participatory? When we talk about digital journalism, not all digital journalism is participatory. Okay, so because there is also some constraint and technology induced constraint is there, which can be used by any news website or a newsroom in reporting, in presenting the news. Okay, but when you talk about some of the tools like wiki tools are there. Okay, and some of the news websites itself, omynews.com is a citizen news website, slash dot com is there. onmynews.com is a citizen journalism website that was originated in 2000 in Korea. That is a very important, like, that era, important era has been, like, started, pioneered by that onmynews.com. And then also you have, this is called the peer-to-peer networking site, I have told you. Okay, so these are some of the digital, different forms of digital journalism. One is personal broadcasting site, use of thin media. Email is there, by using email, by simply posting a letter to editor is also one kind of, you see, participatory journalism, or you see the citizen journalism. Here you see, when you talk about digital journalism, it is different because one is induced with the help of digital technology, Okay, when you talk about citizen journalism, when journalism is become a practice of the citizen. That's what we can understand citizen journalism. And the first time you see that citizen journalism was introduced by Latch and Quarer. It was being introduced by Latch and Quarer in, I think, 1970s. Huh. First, actually, he report the crisis of the government and the citizen. Okay, and thereafter we could see there are many developments over the years in India. Also, we could see MaryNews.com is one citizen journalist site where citizens themselves come into this act of reporting, gathering, and presenting the information. Okay, but you see that citizen journalism came into being with the advent of the WWW, and hence many a time we can associate citizen journalism with digital journalism. But these two disciplines are quite different. We have other form of journalism, like we have civic journalism. Okay, we have civic journalism. We also have public journalism. These are also some form of journalism which are equated to citizen journalism. Now, alternative journalism is there, which will actually they will fight against the hegemony. They try to deconstruct the whole power structure, authority, and the agency. Okay, so that is also another kind of form of journalism, another kind of journalism that is called alternative journalism. But not necessarily that we could equate its form of journalism with digital journalism. So we say the citizen journalism, it has given emphasis on the citizens reporting, role of citizen in reporting and presenting information. But how will they report and present the information if mainstream news website won't accommodate the citizens? And hence we have digital platform to accommodate the citizens. Like blog is a platform that will accommodate the citizen. Personal broadcasting site will accommodate the citizens. And hence they have a different role altogether. So, if you talk about those parameters like the establishment, citizen journalism doesn't have any establishment, but mainstream journalism has an establishment, has a history. Citizen journalism doesn't have any history. Mainstream journalism has history, right? And also, we see that citizen journalism doesn't have any organization as such, but mainstream journalism has an organization. Hmm, as well as an hierarchy of roles and regulations. So in this news website, we get to see there are separate set of professionals with distinct roles. So we see that the hierarchy of rules and regulations are there in mainstream journalism, but in citizen journalism website, even in a digital website, so many portals are there. You won't get to see any hierarchy. uh, But now in mainstream journalism website also you see the situation is such here in Assam. So one journalist said that status of Islamic journalism with me that is running one very like prominent newspaper. I'll not say one journalist with three you see staff. I'm actually running that newspaper. So most of the stories are outsourced. So it is given to people, even citizens who have advanced or journalists or were expertise into reporting, and then they call out disinformation. Okay, so you see with the three stuff they are actually running three four stuff, and in most of the newspaper you get to see there are three four stuffs, and there is no hierarchy among the three four stuff. What will be the hierarchy? There are only three four stuffs. So in mainstream news organization also we get nowadays we won't get to see that hierarchy that was once prevalent. Okay, we won't get to see that structure of role and responsibilities. So this is the editor. So this will be the beat journalist. Somebody will cover the health. Somebody will cover the education bit. So different. The text editor, then executive editor. No, now it is just because of cost cutting or because of this trend of AI. So you actually see, and hence that is one thing. And you also see that mainstream news organization have usually have a trade union. No, journalist trade union is there. take care of their rights, their privileges. But nobody will take care of rights and privileges of the citizens because they are journalists by their interest, driven by their interest. So nobody will take care of this. So they can switch their role. Yeah, so they can be a good citizen. They can hold different occupations and they can report. Okay, so nobody will try to protect their rights. So they cannot even claim for their rights if it is breach also. If rights are being obstructed, so that is one thing. So that becomes the status, and there is actually no value. Subjectivity is given predominant importance in citizen journalism, but here we always follow that objectivity. That 5W's 1H is also objectivity. So H is already been diluted now in hard news. So, but basically we follow that objectivity in mainstream news side. So. It is important we have more to deal with about citizen journalism because we see nowadays you also have that first draft or second draft reporting. We have a logistical unit. With the help of certain technology, certain reports cannot be created. That kind of situation have come. Or you can evaluate different type of reports also on the basis of the nature of the reports. Certain reports have an add-on from the citizens. So report is prepared in the news house and looking for add-on from the citizens. So that is also kind of supervised gate watching, where citizen has a role in contributing and collaborating in the development of the news report. Okay, so that kind of trend is also there. Trend has come, and also we have a certain news report which are entirely done by independent journalists. It is from their own. They decide the topic. They decide the content, and then they send it to that media house or to print, and then it is chained. So that is not a close. That is a open gate watching. So there are different form of gate watching also: supervised gate watching, open gate watching, closed gate watching. Suppose in a certain newspaper they don't entertain citizen journalism at all, so they do have a very close gate watching provision. Supervised gate watching, where there is add-on features for citizen, is there in any article, so citizen can contribute, and they can decide the topic. They can decide the content inside the news story. And certain stories which cannot also be produced without the help of technology nowadays. Certain wiki technology, you say, now with the help of even blog technology, because now you see, uh, apart from values of objectivity, now various news organization is also equally moving to look into the subjectivity, because people, they, in that case, you see, they can get more traffic. Many people look for opinions. What is the opinion of one news house or media house, or even few affiliated people of that house on certain account of events. So you see, in that way also they take help of technologies. So there is a technology produced reporting are also there. Now you see AI produced reporting. Now what the trend is such that there will not be any journalist. AI will produce a report, and it will be, there is only one journalist or even perhaps the two journalists. They will run an image. That is a news house. So the trend has come. So we'll be discussing about AI someday. Okay, means maybe Monday, or I'll see. So because this is very important, and AI is important in terms of what this time we will be discussing AI, importance of AI in journalism. In politics is very important now. It has changed the whole trend, and also importance of AI in certain aspect, how it has changed the representation of gender and all. It's important. Okay, so and in PR, how it is used. Okay, it's important. So we'll be discussing about use of AI in different variety of field. Okay,